Councilmember Kinsinger.
Present.
Councilmember Dickinson.
Here.
Councilmember Hepperly.
Here.
Councilmember Schumacher.
Present.
Councilmember Packard.
Present.
Vice Mayor Hunt.
Here.
Mayor Polguta.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. This time I'd like to invite down Big Pastor Mike
Woo woo.
from Mount Zion Congregational Church. Welcome, sir. Sir, it's always a pleasure when you're here.
Yeah. You know I love you. Fourth time I done came to your job. I ain't seen you at my job once yet, man. I'm waiting on you.
I've been there, Pastor.
Okay. You represent for you, man.
I appreciate you.
We love you. Bless you. Let us pray. Father, we come before you very humble because we're not worthy. We're not capable. We're not able to live this life on our own. We need you, Jesus. So I call upon your name, Jesus, according to your word. You said, Jesus, that I can come boldly to the throne of grace and receive help. But this day, Jesus, this Thursday evening, I come before the throne of grace, and I bring the mayor with me, and I bring his staff with me, and I bring the people of Prescott Valley with me, Lord. And we come before you very humble because we need you. But Lord, I stand here praying boldly because I believe you. I believe you, Lord, when you said the government shall sit on your shoulders. Now, what you meant, Lord, was you wanted everybody in government to know that they could operate in your power. All they had to do was call on your name. Lord, I know that we have our own plans, but you have ordered the mayor's steps. So, Father, I'm asking that you send the Holy Spirit here today to illuminate the steps you have already prepared for the mayor. And then, Lord God, I'm asking that you send him help to lift up his arms as he implements the visions you placed on his heart for Prescott Valley, Lord. Lord, I pray that Prescott Valley would continue to grow and to develop and to be prosperous. And Lord, I promise, Lord, that as we walk through town and we walk through this area, that we would see the growth and development from the visions that you placed in the mayor's heart. Lord, we'll first be sure to give you the glory. But then, Lord, we'll be sure to praise your name for sending us a mayor that had the strength, Lord, and he just had the strength and the vision to implement what you placed on his heart for us. So, Lord, I pray for a hedge of protection around him. Oh, yes, I do, Lord, because the oil runs from the head down, and he's our head. And I pray for a hedge of protection around him, Lord. Lord, I pray for a hedge of protection around his staff. Lord, I pray for a hedge of protection around us, his supporters, that no weapon formed against him shall prosper. No hater, no naysayer, no procrastinator shall get in the way of the mayor's progress, Lord. And then, God, will be sure to give you all the glory. Now, Father, I thank you for your presence at this meeting, for you said, whosoever shall ask for wisdom, it shall be given liberally. So, Father, I'm asking that you have your way. Speak to us and speak through us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Let us go to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic
For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Pastor Mike, as always, thank you, sir. Moving on to item 3, proclamations. First one up, Constitution Week. Ladies, if you just come on down.
Whereas September 17 marks the 235th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas it is fitting and proper to read, study, and preach the greatest document of human liberty and to protect the freedoms set forth in the Bill of Rights. And whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and the anniversary of its creation. And whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, I, Kelpa Aguda, Mayor of the Town of Prescott Valley, Arizona, do hereby proclaim September 17th through the 23rd to be Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. Thank you.
The Yavapai chapter of the Daughters of American Revolution was founded 41 years ago here in Prescott Valley. I'm the regent. This is my second vice regent, Debbie Lamb, and my treasurer, Kathy Houchin.
One more time for him. Next up, Patriot Week proclamation.
Whereas,
Down for that.
whereas from the tragedy of September 11, 2001, a new spirit has arisen, a stronger sense of family, community, brotherhood, and patriotism, and we have come together as Americans. And whereas America is fully committed to ensuring our freedoms remain unfettered and sovereign for all generations, now and forever, and whereas we wish to honor and remember all those who lost their lives and who have demonstrated the ultimate sacrifice for their country, and whereas we wish to honor and pay tribute to the men, women, and families who were affected in our town, as well as those who worked so diligently to help our people recover, and whereas commencing September 10, with the placement of the flags of the Prescott Valley Healing Fields of Northern Arizona, and with the commemoration of the tragic events of 9/11, we joined the entire nation in the recognition of Patriot Day, September 11, to remember and honor the invincible spirit of America and its heroes. Whereas this commemoration should be conducted each September 11 throughout the land to include the promotion of global peace and goodwill, the advancement of patriotism and love of country, and the remembrance of those innocent victims who died September 11 as heroes, one and all. Now, therefore, I, Kelpa Aguda, Mayor of the Town of Prescott Valley, Arizona, do hereby proclaim September 10 through the 17th as Patriot Week. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. 11 years ago, I came to this council and I felt like I had put upon my heart that we needed to understand what happened on that day of 9/11. And we needed to know these people. And so this is the 11th year of having the healing fields in the town of Prescott Valley. The town of Prescott Valley has been amazing and supportive of this event, and this is the Healing Fields home. And so this next week, please take the opportunity to come out and meet those people that lost their lives that day, and all they were doing was going to work, dropping their children off at daycare. And that day did not end well, and they did not make it home. I thank God for our opportunity tonight to be in this room, to feel safe, to have the freedoms that this country has given us, that many have sacrificed their lives for what we have right here, right now. And we can never take it for granted. It is never to be forgotten. We have to stand and remember and thank the Lord and seek Him to guide us in the path that we should take going forward. So I again appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate the town of Prescott Valley. I appreciate our country and God as He guides us through all of what we have to work through. Thank you.
I have the privilege, my name is Heidi Foster. I have the privilege this year of chairing the Healing Field. And so first of all, it's a huge undertaking and it, lasts the entire week. And so first of all, I want to introduce a very important person. This is Pilar Henry. She is our volunteer coordinator this year and has done an outstanding job. And it's a huge undertaking. So I just want to honor you for your time and efforts in doing that, Pilar. And then we just want to invite the public to our events this week. The flags go up tomorrow morning at really dark 30. And so, but we have volunteers arriving to place the rebar very early, but our regular volunteers should be there at 7 o'clock in the morning if you'd like to help us put the flags up and place the tags. And so we always can use, it takes hundreds of volunteers to do this. If you'd like to sign up ahead of time, that's really preferable. You can go to healingfieldpv.com and sign up. It's very easy. And then Saturday morning, we have the Patriot Run. That benefits the Central Yavapai Honor Guard. And that helps the firefighters go to honor other firefighters who have lost their lives in the line of duty. And then at 10:30, we have the Blessing of the Field. And so that will be the time that we will open the field and then place the last set of booths at the flag to open the field for the week. That's at 10:30 at Theater on the Green, which is the amphitheater right there by the Civic Center. And then on Sunday evening at 6 p.m. is our annual Patriot Day ceremony. And it's really a wonderful event each year. We'll have pipes and drums, we'll have honor guard, we'll have a special speaker, and a couple of special speakers. We'll have the national anthem, and we'll have the American Legion there too. So we'd love to have you come. That's also 6 p.m. at Theater on the Green. And then on Tuesday, we have a free concert also at Theater on the Green at 6 p.m. So we have a lot of events during the week, but most of all, the flags are there 24/7. Please take the time to come and pay your respects to those people who lost their lives, our first responders, our police officers. And that was a day when we saw the worst thing possible happen to our nation, but we also saw the best as people got together and helped each other. And so we invite you to take part this year with us. Thank you.
Next up, Staff Service Award, Lynette Christensen, Librarian, 5 years. Come on down.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jocelyn Joseph. I'm the library manager here at the Prescott Valley Public Library, and I am the direct supervisor of Lynette Christensen. And Lynette, or Mrs. C, as the kids call her, has brought so many positive changes to this community and our children's library. In the past 5 years, she has developed fun and educational programs for children and families like the New Year's Eve party, writing workshops, math clubs, STEAM and STEM programs, art displays, and not to mention the amazing summer reading programs that we have. Every year, our summer reading program gets better and better, and this past summer, we had a dinosaur experience, a mermaid, a BMX show, along with favorites like Wildman Phil and his animals. Lynette would be the first to say that it's the work of the entire children's department, but it starts with her leadership. Lynette started the Baby Story Time program, something we didn't have prior to, and it added to the toddler and preschool story times. She incorporated songs baby sign language, and of course, short stories to this program. All of these programs stress the importance of reading with your children. She truly cares about the families and children in our community. Mrs. C will ask kids what books they are reading and is always able to recommend a book if a child is stumped on what to read next. Lynette is very supportive of her staff of 3 and is always willing to collaborate with and help all library departments. She has encouraged her staff to learn more about librarianship and suggest and run innovative programming ideas. Whether she is talking to staff or patrons, she is respectful and genuinely interested in the conversation. Lynette is always kind, caring, and supportive. She encompasses our town's core values of service, integrity, respect, teamwork, and innovation, and she is a dedicated librarian. The library and the town are very lucky to have her. So here's to 5 more years at least, Lynette.
Thank you to all of you and to the council, because we do have several readers that come in and read to our kids as well. We do have a new program every other Friday, starting tomorrow, where community members can read to the children, but you do have to sign up as a volunteer with the town first. I don't know where she got all that information, but thank you so much. I enjoy my job very much.
One more time for Mr. Next up, another Staff Service Award for Sarah Goodman, Records Management Coordinator, 15 years, Town of Prescott Valley.
So good evening, everyone. Tonight, I have the privilege of recognizing someone that has made a difference in the town for the last 15 years. Sarah started her career in the mail center in 2007, where she coordinated the daily operations of the town's mailroom center. So for 6 straight years, she successfully maintained all the incoming and outgoing mail and took care of any requests for copying, binding, folding, and cutting, among taking care of other responsibilities. It wasn't until 2013 when she received a promotion to become deputy court clerk and work another 8 years along the magistrate judge, court staff, and at one point with myself. Until now, Sarah has been a hidden treasure. Because I've worked with her, I know how brilliant, dedicated, loyal, responsible, organized, and reliable she is. As of about a month ago, I was lucky enough to recruit her into the clerk's office. I just knew she would be an amazing asset to my team. She has exceeded my already high expectations of her and adjusted to the fast-paced environment of her office. I know she's accustomed to the fast-paced lifestyle because she's a loving mother to her 2 children, Corey and Corbin, as well as an active Shkeen to her 5 grandchildren. In whatever she does, she's willing to always go above and beyond the extra mile. Corbin, she's a good mom. Sarah, your dedicated service to your community and the town does not go unrecognized. You deserve this recognition and more, and we look forward to the many more years with you and your delicious baked goods. Congratulations.
Councilor.
Sarah, we so appreciate your devotion and time to the town of Prescott Valley and all your commitment. It has to be difficult managing a big family and taking care of grandchildren on top of it. And I have not yet been privy to sampling your baked goods, but hopefully sometime in the near future. And we look forward to many more years of your time here with the town.
Just the fact that Fatima recruited you to the clerk's office tells me that you're probably pretty good. She's got quite the team over there, and we know how important the clerk's office job is, and we appreciate everything that you guys do as a whole, and we're so happy to have you there now and with the town for so long up to this point. Thank you very much.
Ms. Goodman, thank you so much for your dedication to the town. Thank you for keeping an eye on the judge for us. And records management in a public jurisdiction is so vitally important. Thank you for accepting the job when Fatima offered it to you, and very good luck in that position.
Well, Sarah, thank you very much. I'm curious, you must have started when you was 12 or something like that. But records management is big. But I guess it can be a little boring, but it is big. And we are so happy to have someone like you on board to do this. And thank you for your continued, I repeat, continued service, okay?
Yes, thank you for your dedication. And I do know how vital you are to the records department. And just don't get overwhelmed. I'm sure it could be that way very easily with the amount and quantity of everything you have to do. So thank you for your diligence and for dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's, because I know that's coming with the job. So thank you, and keep up the good work.
Sarah, I want to thank you for your service to the town of Prescott Valley. I'm sure at times there's been the learning curve as you switch from one position to another, but you've accepted it, you took the challenge, because you're always growing, and because if you're not growing, you're dying, and you're growing, and thank you for taking advantage of those extra opportunities. We wish you many, many more years, and again, take care of your family.
Sarah, I know Fatima likes to say that she recruited you, but if you ask Judge Carson, he feels like she stole you. Just that says a lot. You know, it says that people actually want you. You do an amazing job, and just keep up the good work and keep smiling. Say a few words? No words. Next up is Councilwoman Hepperly with Student of the Month Award.
Good evening. School is back in session, and that means that so is Bradshaw Mountain Student of the Month. So we're here for the month of September. Town of Prescott Valley, in collaboration with the Optimist Club of Yavapai County and Bradshaw Mountain High School, are honoring these outstanding students for September. Please welcome Sarah Saldana and Jackson Dahl. They have been nominated by school staff and instructors for their school and community engagement. And so congratulations, guys, and let's hear a little bit more about your achievements. Sarah, ladies first.
No, you're okay. Hello to all and good evening. My name is Sarah Saldana, and I'm currently a senior at Bradshaw Mountain High School. I've lived in Prescott Valley for 16 years, the other one being when I lived in California, where I was originally born. In my time here, I've been able to become a part of the community, not only through school and academics, but through my church and work as well. As mentioned before, I am a student at Bradshaw Mountain High School and have become involved with extracurriculars and advanced classes such as college English, math, and AP classes such as AP Economics, AP Statistics, and AP US History, in which I was able to get a 5 on the exam, which helped me demonstrate my academic capability. My current GPA is a 4.3, which I have worked hard to achieve. Along with my academics, I am also part of the production crew, which handles the videography of sports, assemblies, and news that affects the students of the high school. With production, I have also become involved with Model UN this year, and it has taught me the qualities of leadership and to be able to problem solve. Aside from school, I am involved in my local church, the Pentecostal Church of God, located near the Prescott Valley Post Office, and I am a part of the worship team as well as the lead sound technician. After high school, I plan to keep my studies here locally at Yavapai College for 2 years and later transfer to Arizona State University to continue finishing my degree. Overall, I am honored and thank God for the opportunity to have been chosen as Student of the Month, and I am glad that I have been able to become of such a lovely community. Thank you for your time.
I don't know about you guys, but I always get chills listening to these guys. Jackson, you're up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackson Dahl, and I'm currently a senior at Bradshaw Mountain High School. I moved here from Wyoming my sophomore year, and I absolutely love it here. Throughout my life, I've been playing the cello for probably about 7 to 8 years. I love playing the cello by myself and with large groups of people. I have been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to have a solo with the Prescott Pop Symphony Orchestra. And I also go down to Phoenix every Wednesday to play in the Phoenix Youth Orchestra. I have also been taking many years of private lessons for cello to further my learning of the instrument. Through most of my life, again, for 7 to 8 years, I have been a part of the swim team. Being a part of Bradshaw's swim team is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in high school. I've made so many friends and met so many great people throughout the years being there. Everyone on the swim team are very nice and compassionate people who will help you with anything you need, and I'm very proud to be part of the Bradshaw swim team. And I would encourage anyone who wants to join because of how great the people are and how great the coaches are as well. I've been in AP classes during my career in high school. Because of this, I've been able to acquire a 4.1 GPA. Can't say I love them, but definitely will help me further my ability to get to college. I plan to go to ASU and pursue radiology for my future. Overall, I'm very happy to be proud to be part of the Bradshaw Mountain community because of what I bring and what others bring to the campus. Thank you all for your time.
Making a big move like that in the middle of high school is not easy, and you have done it so successfully. It's that alone is just amazing. Principal Dahl, would you like to say a few words?
I say this every time. I have the best job in the world, and I really do. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Councilwoman Hepperly. I know that you had this piece up. And a huge shout out to Mr. Whiting and the Optimist Club. He keeps wanting me to call him Mike. We don't do that in education. I always say thank you because we are blessed to work with kids like this every day. And sometimes in the news, whatever it is, right? Sometimes we don't hear about the amazing things that happens in schools and communities and all of those things. These two are amazing, and they're great representatives of our campus. But they're not the only representatives. They aren't the only two students. We get nominations through the roof, and they all have and sound like what you just heard. And I always think, man, when I was in high school, it did not sound like that. We're so proud of them. We're so proud of what goes on in our community and on our campus. And I can't thank you enough for getting that word out there. So thank you for taking the time to work with us in celebrating our kids. And I can't wait for next month as well. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I just looked at this. Who's Eric?
Eric isn't here.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. All right, Mike, would you like to come say a couple words? I don't mind. I don't mind calling you Mike. That's okay.
We knew you would. Thanks. Well, it is a great time every fourth Thursday. Now we're doing the second Thursday, I think, to recognize outstanding students from Bradshaw Mountain High School. And I agree with the principal that it's too bad we don't have more weeks in the month and more months that we could recognize a lot of the students or more students at Bradshaw Mountain High School. But you two should feel very proud that you're here tonight to be recognized as outstanding students. We are recognizing you for, if you weren't aware, your achievements and accomplishments that we've heard from you as you're reading your biographies in academics, as well as your personal involvement in school and hopefully in the community. I know that Sarah works at Stone Ridge, and that's one of my favorite places. I don't know why, I guess I live there. But you have demonstrated, I think, to both the staff and other students that you have taken the responsibility to make the necessary progress in order to do your schoolwork and other personal goals that you want to achieve. You're continually striving, as we've heard, for success in all you do and working for the best of your ability. So we appreciate that. And again, we're glad that you're here. It is my sincere pleasure, and I'll ask April to pass out the little memento certificates to you, but it's my pleasure to congratulate you on behalf of the Optimist Club of Yavapai County, the town of Prescott Valley, as well as the Bradshaw Mountain High School. So let's give them a round of applause. And we did want to recognize the parents who have a big role to play in terms of what our students do. So if any relatives or parents here tonight, please stand up and let us recognize you. Way to go. Thank you, parents, and thank you, students. We'll have a little picture up here, and then we'll be out of the council's hair. But as you heard some of the students say, they love it here, so I think the council is doing something right in terms of wanting to be here. Yeah.
Mom and Dad, you guys can come down and get a better spot for a picture, too, if you want.
We talked about that.
One more time. Moving on, item 6, call to the public. At this time, members of the public may comment on matters listed on the agenda or solely on matters on matters within the jurisdiction of the town. Any persons wishing to address the council must register their name with the town clerk prior to the commencement of the meeting. The council's response is limited to responding to criticism, asking staff to review a matter commented upon, or asking that a matter be put on a future agenda. Such remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. Clerk?
At this time, I would like to call Mr. Tom Chase.
Welcome, sir.
Well, we had big news and action on our street the last week or so. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Gilbert. And I guess Norm's out of his costume, so thanks, Norm. Thank you, Norm. So we got the speed bumps in on both sides. We now have signs up that say hump, 15 miles an hour. They painted today. I got to watch it paint dry. They put up some, I don't know the exact words, but they're pylons with lights on top of them. Because we found in putting down the speed bumps, probably a third or maybe a little bit more would go around them. So because the speed bumps don't cover the whole lane and with the bike lane there. So anyhow, they were trying to go around it because they saved 25 seconds from one end to the other end by not going over, go around. So anyhow, the pylons are up today. They seem to work, so there wasn't a problem as far as that. Mixed feelings on it. Probably the placement could have been a little better, but I wanted it in front of my house. I got it, so I'm not complaining. But a few of the other neighbors on where they were because of mailboxes and or driveways. And we moved a few of the pylons around so the mailman could get to their mailbox because he delivers the mail out of his car. And the bike lanes that were painted a couple of 3 weeks ago, the one guy that really loves them is the mailman. Because he lives in fear going up and down our street from getting sideswiped or his mirror knocked off or whatever, but he's enjoying a little bit more space, so he loves it. Okay, to go back to the speed bumps, the kids in the school bus love them because they all have the windows down and I can hear them and go over, the front wheels go over the first one and there's a ooh when they keep going forward and go over the rear wheels. There's lots of laughing and oohs going on, so that's pretty cool. And one of the other neighborhood kids was doing an Evel Knievel on getting air going over them when there was nobody in the street. So I thought that was pretty cool, since we usually don't have any kids out there. the speed bump drawbacks. Okay, we got 3 on each side of the street. One on my end, one way on the other end, one in the middle. So the first few days, it was very entertaining.
Guess we'll have to wait until next time to hear the rest of the story.
My wife's not going to speak, so give me another minute.
Mr. Chase, it's because I like you and you're so committed to coming here. Mr. Chase, I'll hear this out. I want to hear about these speed bumps.
Okay, no, I'm presenting it like I see it, and I appreciate everything
like you have
guys
for the
done.
last 8 council meetings, so I'm kind of involved in this now.
So
it's like a Netflix series.
It's pretty enjoying to sit out in our front yard and watch the cars go by because, like I said, some of them are going over them, 35 miles an hour, so they're hitting their head. Probably ought to go to the hospital and see how many of them have concussions that are going in there. The best one is because they ride around, with their dog in their lap and the dog half out the window. Well, this old guy, hit it. It was all he could do to get the dog back in the car. Not racial profiling here at all. The worst offenders are old white men. I don't know what it is. They can't see the sign. They can't do that. But, man, they hit those bumps and they go bouncing.
All right. It was well worth the minute, sir. Next time I'm ready. Thank you, sir. I know. It's all right.
Cindy Chase, Miss Cindy Chase.
Well, you did a bait and switch on us, Mr. Chase. Welcome, ma'am.
I know you guys have heard a lot of negative from our street, okay? It's been very frustrating living there and getting up every day, and it's just so daunting to hear the cars just, going every which way and honking the horns and all of that stuff. I want to thank each and every one of you for your time and your effort that you've put into this project. And we couldn't have done it without you, obviously. I know we're, what I used to call in the office is a PETA, pain in the ass. But we're finally getting someplace, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Clerk.
Mr. Steve Carroll.
Welcome, sir.
First of all, I am Steve Carroll's Pronghorn Ranch, and I'd like to recognize and thank Councilmember Roger Kinzinger for getting the transformer moved, and you will be excited to know we have about 10 more for you. So my main reason for being here is to discuss a town survey regarding water issues facing Prescott Valley and the request for information and opinion from the town residents. I attended the Water Issues and Communications Work Meeting several months ago, which initiated the citizen group that followed, and I was at those, or at least one. The current Internet Survey Monkey is apparently a descendant from those. I would like to publicly identify several issues related to the process that I have directly observed and which I believe diminishes the integrity of the entire process. First thing is the incongruent statements of a member of this council during his campaign that we, Prescott Valley, has plenty of water. If that were true, the town would not have been pushing the Big Chino pipeline project for the past decade or so. Clearly, water is an issue, and now with chemicals showing up in our wells, that is adding to the issue. The following facts regarding the survey itself must be recognized and addressed by the town leadership. Number one, the vast majority of the respondents are over 65. That is to say, of retirement age. And when I say vast, I believe it was somewhere around 93% last night. Two, town leadership continues to ignore CWAG as a resource when in fact they are an awesome resource. And it was nowhere to be found in the survey when I know for a fact it was mentioned over and over again in the citizen meetings. I don't know the reason why that would be left out. Three, And lastly, the only proffered options for funding of resolutions by actions appear to be some form of taxation or another. The idea that the developers being involved via negotiations is not mentioned at all. It's past time that they continue to get a free ride, all the while exasperating the issue with accelerated growth, and i.e. increasing the number of used consumers at a time when mega drought, water sustainability, and water quality doesn't seem to be on their radar. It is time, by the way, regarding water quality, in 1997 when I lived in Pine, when you showered, you had to keep your eyes closed because of all the chemicals in the water. We do not need that here, nor can you drink it. Anyway, it's time to stop placing the burden. I've got
10 more seconds, let's hear it.
It is time to stop placing the burden on retirees who have been lured to Prescott Valley by the developers. It is also time to institute a moratorium on water meters until the town can determine the extent of the impact of the chemicals on our water supply, as well as determining the source of these chemicals, especially if they are the result of all.
Thank you, sir. Clerk?
Mr. Robinson.
Sir, thank you for coming out. Mr. Essen, good to see you.
Mr. Mayor, good to see you too. Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council, I'm here to give you an information update and then an ask at the end.
I knew there would be one.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Oh gosh, I've started already. Right, well, as you may be aware, I've led a petition drive under the new section of General Plan 11.2.2, and I'd like to particularly thank in public Town Attorney Ivan Legler and Town Clerk Fatima Fernandez for helping me, because we've never done one of those petitions, so we all had to agree how to go about it. And so thank you very much, I appreciate it. The petition objects to a proposed minor general plan amendment which may come before the council at a later date. It seeks to put medium high density housing on either side of Prongle Ranch Parkway, and at the moment that land is designated for low density residential use. In order for the petition to work, Fatima told me we needed 1533 signatures. Within 4 weeks of starting to get signatures, we already had more than 2,400, upwards of 157% of the legal minimum. And I think that sends a strong message regarding the feelings of Prescott Valley voters and residents. It's also more than enough, were it to be necessary in the future, to call a referendum, but I would sincerely hope we never would get to that stage. Anyway, under that section, what would happen with the petition working is the minor general plan amendment would become a major one. Two things really come out of that. First, the developer must show the amendment doesn't adversely affect the community or a portion of the community. Secondly, it requires a 2/3 supermajority of council to pass. We haven't submitted the petition yet to the town clerk because we've got a few hundred signatures that still need to be notarized, but I expect to do it next week. That was the informational part. Now I like to make another point. This is not the first time that town residents have had to organise to object to the plans by the owner of the subject land, David Maguire, to increase the density of housing in the area, and we are frankly sick of it. Mr. Maguire bought the land knowing its allowable land use was low-density residential. Residents in the surrounding areas clearly want him to develop the land that way, not with greater density. There surely has to come a time that the town recognises enough is enough. It's been asked enough times. Can I have a few more seconds?
Yes, sir. I want to. You hooked me on this. You're going to do the ask. I want to hear it. So.
Well, the ask is, I'm not aware that there is any legal requirement to entertain a general plan amendment if someone asks for one yet again. Clearly they've got one now, and we're going to deal with that. But if they ask again, would it be possible for the town to declare that it will not accept future general plan amendments on this land unless they are truly, in every sense of the word, minor? That's my ask.
Sir, thank you for coming out, and we'll have Mr. Legler reach out to you, and I'm sure you'll look forward to that email, and he'll be able to explain your answer. How's that?
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for coming out, sir. Clerk?
Brianna Mason.
Welcome, ma'am.
There has been a lot of discussion surrounding First Amendment rights concerning free speech as it clearly relates to inappropriate, offensive, and prurient materials in the public library. As an educator since 2011, I have taught many novels that all had great literary merit, but not one ever forced obscenity into my classroom. Obscenity, as clearly defined in federal law 18 U.S.C. section 2257-2257A, it's anything that fits the criteria of the Miller test, which may include, for example, visual depictions, spoken words, or written text. The mentioned Miller test has clear guidelines that are followed in all criminal cases regarding obscenity. One, whether the average person applying contemporary community standards would find the work taken as a whole appeals to the prurient interest. Or two, whether the work depicts or describes in a patently offensive way sexual conduct specifically defined by the applicable state law. So quoting from the U.S. Department of Justice website, this law is clear that obscenity is not protected under First Amendment rights to free speech, and violations of federal obscenity laws are criminal offenses. Continuing to quote the federal website, federal law strictly prohibits the distribution of obscene matters to minors. Any transfer to a minor is punishable under federal law, direct quote. So let me bring this down to a more applicable state and local level. Chapter 35 of Title 13 in Arizona law covers obscenity in great detail. 3501 paraphrases the Miller test and then continues to define item as any material or performance which depicts or describes sexual activity and includes any book, leaflet, pamphlet, magazine, booklet, and continues for about 14 other items. 3506 covers persons who furnish, present, provide, or make available such items to minors. And 3507 is quoted in many library agreements across the state and disclaimers as it states, it is unlawful for any person knowingly to place explicit sexual material upon public display or knowingly to fail to take prompt action to remove such a display from property. Section B says a person who violates any provision of this section is guilty of a Class 6 felony. This specific law defines explicit sexual material as well as public display if you'd like to research that for yourselves. Bringing it down even farther to the library level, there are court cases across the nation that have addressed situations identical to this one. One in Iowa prompted additional wording in the laws. This is section 728-2A of Iowa House Bill 2176, which covers dissemination of obscene materials to minors. A person affiliated with a public or private elementary or secondary school or library or public library in an official capacity who knowingly disseminates to any minor any material the person knows or should reasonably know is obscene or harmful to minors is guilty of an aggravated misdemeanor for a first offense. This wording is mirrored in many other states, and it is not radical or extreme to conclude that this is the practical solution. Despite the obvious and abhorrent attempts from some elected officials to discredit the many concerned parents and citizens concerning this issue, the goal remains the same. Our library is so beloved and revered. It should be a safe place for children of all ages. Indiscriminate access to information in this case is in clear violation of laws that are designed to protect our children, and materials that are sexually explicit should be removed or limited to adults or parental consent. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
Chris Hines? Chris Hines?
I'm getting comfortable. Oh, I'm already starting. How you doing?
Welcome, sir.
Welcome. There's been a lot of chatter lately from a small select group of people about banning books, burning books, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, from the Prescott Valley Public Library. It seems that they are attempting to change the narrative and spread false information and lies concerning our concerns. We are here tonight to make perfectly clear our concerns. Our love for truth outweighs our fear of offending any of you. To each and every one of you, thank you for your service to our town. We appreciate what you do to make this community an amazing place to live. As most of you already know, my Army veteran wife, Ellen, and I fled Central Connecticut in the fall of 2018 due to many reasons, but mostly due to persecution for our conservative Republican political affiliation, our Christian faith, our belief in the United States Constitution, memories, especially the First and Second Amendments, and our love, God, I didn't know this was coming, and our love of our country and our American flag. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the good Lord God Almighty moved us here to this new location. I honestly got down on my hands and knees and kissed the Prescott Valley, Arizona ground as soon as we got here, because we were so blessed to be now living here in this totally amazing town in patriotic Prescott Valley, USA. We thank you for your heartfelt welcome and all you've given and showed us for the past 4 years. We are here tonight to express our deep concerns regarding the Prescott Valley Public Library and to propose policy changes for the library to adopt. We bring these concerns and recommendations to you because we believe in protecting the hearts, minds, and innocence of our young, beautiful, and precious children. These are our concerns. Oh, I'm never going to make it. They're the concerns of a letter that you received today. So you all got that. And there's no time for me to go over that, but that's what it is. What I will say is, thank you very much for taking 3 minutes to hear our heartfelt concerns.
And so just so you know, yeah, we have that email, so.
Can I give you this or no?
Sure. It's okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Clerk?
Mark Gardner.
Welcome, sir.
My name is Mark Gardner. I am a U.S. Navy veteran, a Prescott Valley resident, and I have several degrees, including an undergrad in human behavior, and I'm almost done with my master's of education, on track for a PhD in experiential education. My wife and I are both authors. She writes children's books, and I write genre fiction. Most importantly, I have 3 children that use the library. I'm dismayed that there would ever be a push to censor anything, be it music, video games, comic books, or literature. The library has in its catalog many books on censorship that would be what a world with censorship would be, most notably Fahrenheit 451. Many people are alive from the generation that fought the Nazi scourge, and they witnessed censorship firsthand. Just as video games, comic books, and rock and roll have been blamed for the decline of our great country, literature is just as innocent in that role. We need safe spaces for our children to read books about topics that we either do not know much about or are uncomfortable discussing. Censorship only hurts us as a knowledgeable society and erases both thought and history. Those that would advocate censorship at this library or any other need to examine their reasoning. If they're concerned that children are reading problematic books, then they should have an active role in their children's library visits. Banning books will not stop ideas or information. It will only drive children to secrecy and the internet. I, for one, would prefer the safety of a library over the internet. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. Clerk?
Finn Gardner.
Welcome.
I'm Finn Gardner, and I live in Prescott Valley, Arizona. I've been a volunteer at the library since 2018, and I'm currently attending Yavapai College, Prescott College, and AAEC to get my associate's and bachelor's degree. I'm currently 16 years old, and I visit this library almost daily. The fact that the library's teen department has been so accepting of LGBTQ+ youth has made myself and many others feel very safe at the library. But right now, that right to feel safe is being challenged. Banning books is something that we've known to be wrong for an extended period of time. Cautionary tales of dystopian books where banning knowledge becomes the norm are supposed to act as a reminder that you can't stop someone from wanting to learn, you can't stop someone from wanting to grow and seek knowledge, and you can't stop someone from wanting to be themselves. The fact that there's even debate on LGBTQ+ resources and books being available is something that should not be taken lightly. Knowing that there are people out there who don't want me to be alive just because I'm a member of the LGBTQ+ community is sickening. Right now, that danger is coming to our library. If there's trans or a gay child who isn't accepted at home or at school for their identity, that can have detrimental effects to their mental health. And with the possibility of another safe space for them, the library, being ripped away cannot happen. These people are humans, just like the rest of us, and humans that deserve to feel safe, loved, and heard. Banning books is something that should never be allowed and can have disastrous effects on the lives of people and everyone around us.
Thank you.
Andrew Barber.
Welcome.
Thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you all today. My name is Andrew, and I am a resident of Prescott Valley concerned about the ongoing campaign to censor and ban books at the Prescott Valley Public Library. The parents who have spoken to you all over the last few town council meetings are using rhetoric and strategies that resemble those of groups across the nation attempting to ban books with LGBTQ+ content in public libraries. I want to draw attention to these strategies because if you give in to their requests, you risk opening up our town to a very dangerous future. First, these groups read explicit excerpts from books in public forums to boost their clout among extremists in the area while hoping that you will remove them from the forum. If they are removed from these forums, they will sue on First Amendment grounds. In July of this year, a group of parents in Georgia did just this and received national media attention, which is ultimately the reason for the lawsuit. Excuse me. Here in Prescott Valley, Ms. Maison copied this strategy by reading explicit material from 2 books not owned by our public library at the council meeting on August 11th. Because she did not verify whether our library owned these books, we can infer that her comments were not directed at the library, and instead she was inappropriately using this space as a platform to boost support for her school board campaign. Next, when it becomes apparent that their lack of research is inhibiting their arguments, they will enter spaces of the library reserved for children to take photographs of books they think prove their point. For pretty obvious reasons, libraries do not allow adults to take photos in children's spaces. This intentional violation of policy is once again done in the hopes that they are removed by security so they can falsely accuse librarians of hiding explicit content that was never there and sue the town for media attention. When these tactics aren't effective, these parents escalate by forming networks using social media groups to organize harassment campaigns targeting town officials and librarians. Earlier this year in Jamestown, Michigan and Bonners Ferry, Idaho, such harassment led to many resignations as the harassment evolved into threats of violence. From comments on your most recent Facebook post, Mr. Mayor, it's clear that such a harassment campaign has already begun here. It is only a matter of time before our librarians receive death threats if they haven't already. Our library and librarians need your protection now more than ever. With the knowledge of these strategies, you can prepare for what they will try to do next and carefully protect one of our most precious institutions. Lastly, Mr. Mayor, I admire your courage to take a stand in the face of this harassment by refusing to ban books in the library. However, on Facebook, you repeatedly directed concerned citizens to file police reports against librarians. That's incredibly dangerous. Tasking the police with investigating our beloved and compassionate librarians opens them to further stress and anxiety for competently doing their jobs. Please do not further persecute our librarians. I encourage every single one of you to take a firm stance against banning books. Giving into these folks any more than you already have risks opening up the town to expensive litigation and media coverage that inaccurately paints our loving home as hateful, as our LGBTQ+ neighbors are a federally protected minority. Please show your trust in our librarians with a public demonstration of support and protect them from the hate they are subject to. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ann Mitzak?
Welcome.
Mayor, council members, I am here to voice my concern over the censorship of books within the Yavapai Library Network. My name is Ann Mitzak and I attend Prescott College. As a student and as an Arizona master naturalist, I use the Yavapai Library Network for research and personal edification. My father was a history teacher. One of the most important pieces of advice he gave to me was, read the facts, then decide the merits of the issue for yourself. I have read some of the most controversial books in history. I read Mein Kampf, and it did not make me a Nazi sympathizer or a white supremacist. I have read Lenin's What is to be Done as a Russian history major, and I did not become a communist. I have read The Life and Times of Frederick Douglass, and it did not make me a former black slave. Exposure to literature is just that, exposure to different ideas and experience. Books are inanimate objects, not capable of converting anyone into anything. I have a stepdaughter that has 2 mommies. She had access to uncensored libraries, and she is the straight one. I served 26 years in the U.S. Army. I deployed to Afghanistan twice and Iraq once. I have multiple combat awards to include the Bronze Star, the Combat Action Badge, and the Combat Medic Badge. I've been shot at and mortared. I was an outstanding military leader because of my exposure to books. I understood the nuances of war and my soldiers' cultures, religions, and orientations. Additionally, I have paid several thousands of dollars in federal and state taxes. I have earned the right to a free and open library system through service, sacrifice, and monetary contribution. Continue to provide for which I fought and deserve, access to a free and uncensored library system. I literally protected your freedoms. Do not restrict mine. In summary, an uncensored free library system made me a wealthy patriot. If that is the cultural sickness people fear, then don't allow your kids library access. Keep your kids in the dark. That thought press works wonders for Russia, Afghanistan, Myanmar, and North Korea. The United States is a world leader because we have access to innovative and groundbreaking thoughts and ideas, not because we stifle them. In my opinion, the banning of books is comparable to the burning of books. Historically, this has been the first step for fascist regimes and their blind ignorance that leads to the hatred that has allowed so many of the world's atrocities to happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk?
No one else.
No one else? I feel like everyone out there has spoke tonight. Well, I appreciate everyone that's come out and spent your evening with us to speak. It says a lot. It certainly doesn't fall on deaf ears, and I just want you to know that. Moving on, item 7, council communications. We'll start on the end, Councilwoman.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here this evening. I have just one item to bring to your attention, and we have an event called Run for the Hill of It coming up, and it will be on September 17th, Saturday, September 17th, and the event runs at the same time as the Summit outdoor event, and you start and finish on the Glassford Hill Summit Trail. And the Run for the Hill of It offers panoramic views of northern Arizona all the way to the summit of the mountain. You enjoy the trail at your own pace as either a runner or hiker. The earlier that you register, the less the fee is for that they charge to run and participate. It begins at 6:30 a.m. and the awards ceremony will be at 10 a.m. And as I indicated, this year the event will take place during the Prescott Valley Outdoor Summit, and the Prescott Valley Outdoor Summit takes place September 16th through the 18th at the Findlay Toyota Center. And I guess that's about it. So see you out there. Thank you.
Councilwoman?
Well, I'm sad to say this is the last time that you have to listen to me talk about Dancing for the Stars, as it is tomorrow and Saturday. Whew. So anyways, there's still lots of tickets available for both Friday night and Saturday night. Saturday night is the big VIP event, but the show is the same both nights. So it's definitely worth checking out either night just for the fundraising alone and benefiting the Boys and Girls Club. It's worth the ticket price, but I got a little sneak peek of the show last night, and it is really good, very entertaining. So, and it's at Yavapai Performing Arts Center, so a beautiful venue. So check out dancingforthestars.net, and you can still donate by buying votes, and then also get your tickets on there. But the good news is, this is the first time you get to hear me talk about the epic role play adventure that's coming up this year, October 8th. I was hoping to get to this before all the teens left, but not quick enough for them. But this is put on by the library, and it is for teens 12 to 18. It's an all-day event. That's a Saturday, October 8th. And it's about time to close on collecting adult volunteers because there is a lot of prep time going into it, but teens can sign up for the event leading pretty much all the way to the night before. And then we're also looking for sponsors for that event as well, so we can provide costume making supplies for the teens and food since they will be there all day. So this is the third or fourth year that, anyways, this is one of the things that I look forward to every year in Prescott Valley, and I'm so super excited. So October 8th.
Vice Mayor.
I did a council chat today with Lisa Christensen from the Humboldt Unified School District Family Resource Center, and she is the Family Resource Center advocate and homeless advocate, I guess I'll just say. Anyway, they are in such need of donations for their facility. They give away hygiene products, backpacks, not really food because that's hungry kids, school supplies, but the numbers are devastating this year. 90 kids in our school district qualify for homeless, which is, the definition is under the federal McKinney-Vento Act. So in September 2022, 90 kids qualify for homeless in our school district. September 2021, 50 kids qualified, and in September 2020, only 20 kids qualified. So what she's asking for, and what I'm challenging my fellow council members up here, staff, and everybody listening, is she needs like $15, $20, $25 gift cards to Ross, Walmart, Domino's Pizza, Burger King, and places like Supercuts where kids can get their hair cut. So we have kids living in cars, in motorhomes, with grandparents temporarily, and she really needs small denomination gift cards to be dropped off to the district office over on Robert Road. So that's my challenge for everybody. I had the opportunity yesterday to attend the 5th Arizona Drug Summit, and there was a keynote speaker, and his name is Sam Quinones, and he's a journalist and an author, and he said a really devastating thing to me. So we're lucky enough to have Narcan that our police officers use to revive people that may have overdosed. But his statistics show that if you're Narcan at 6 or 7 different times, different events, and a lot of drug users take the pills and have Narcan in their pocket, or their buddy has Narcan in their pocket in case they do overdose, so that they could be squirted in their nose and revived. But this author said that if you are Narcan 6 to 8 times, your brain is so impacted that those that they've tested revert back to a 4th grade reading level. So drugs are still out there. They're making ones that look like sweet tarts now, and Halloween's coming. So please go to mapforce.org and get some more information on that. I'd like to recognize Frank Almendarez, who is the Vice President of Operations at Dignity YRMC. He's in the back. He's on the Chamber Board with me, and I appreciate him being here. And I think that's it for me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. I think tonight we had a little bit of a theme when it came to call the public. And I kind of want to address that in a brief few words here. In the past couple weeks, we've had individuals come up and they've read excerpts out of a book. And it was adult content. No one here disagrees with that. But that adult book with adult content is located in the adult section of the Prescott Valley Public Library. I do not want these lines to be blurred I don't want people to think that these books are sitting there next to a Dr. Seuss book in the kids or the tween section. I've seen people online call our librarians groomers, predators, pedophiles, that they're preying on kids, that our librarian staff are committing felonies, and that they're supplying sexual content to children. That is not the case, okay? Just because a book has adult content, it is located in an adult section of the Prescott Valley Public Library. So we all need to understand that. We had individuals come up here and speak about LGBTQ and the different kind of genre books that interest them. There is nothing wrong with that. So to cross the line and say that felonies are being committed to cite federal law is ridiculous. And online, on my Facebook page, I have said, you know what, if you think, but there are individuals that think, or they say that this is against the law, what is happening here. And I encourage them to go to the police department, to go to the county attorney's office, and file this report if you think it is so felonious and a crime is being committed. Because guess what? Nothing is breaking the law, and that needs to be clear. So just because you have a book with adult content, don't try and trick people into thinking that it is a kid's book and that our librarians are evil and our librarians are demons. We had Mrs. C here tonight get a 5-year award, and she does amazing things with the kids. If you see her, she reads to the kids, she's teaching them sign language, and she does an amazing job. And if you're gonna tell me that that woman is a pedophile, a groomer, and a predator, then, I mean, there's nothing we're gonna agree on. So I just want to make it very clear that I stand 100% with the Prescott Valley Library and what our librarians are doing. So if you have an issue, go and talk to them, and you'll see what's happening. Don't fall victim to what is happening or what you see on Facebook, because it is ridiculous what is happening out there. And we can't allow a small number of people to just basically corrupt and try to convince others that terrible things are happening here in Prescott Valley because they saw it on a talk show. They saw it on Fox News or MSNBC or CNN, because that is not happening here. It may be happening. I cannot speak for every library in the country, but here at Prescott Valley, you have to understand they are doing great things and they need the support. So with that being said, we'll move on to Manager's report. Mr. Davidson.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the monthly report for August will be available at the latest on Monday. I'm going to try to get it out tomorrow afternoon, so it'll be an electronic distribution to you guys and available to the public via the town's website. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately for discussion and possible action. Council, we've all had a chance to review it. Are we removing any items this evening? If not, I'll entertain a motion. Looks like I have a motion from the Vice Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve all items listed under consent agenda as presented by electronic vote.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a second.
Yes, ma'am. Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10A for new business, new Series 7 liquor license for J Club. This is a public hearing. I'll open it up now. Ms. Clerk, will you be addressing this?
Yes. This is an application for a Series 7 beer and wine bar liquor license for J Club located at 4705 North Stillwell Parkway. This license allows a beer and wine bar retailer to sell and serve beer and wine primarily by individual portions to be consumed on the premises and in the original container for consumption on or off the premises. A notice for this hearing was posted at the premises for 20 days, and our office did not receive any pro or con comments, so it is now proposed that the town council recommend approval for this liquor license to the liquor board.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone out in the audience that wishes to speak in regards to this? None being noted, we'll close the public hearing. Council, if we don't have any further questions on this liquor license, I'll entertain a motion. Vice Mayor?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to recommend to ADLLNC approval of the application for Series 7 liquor license for J Club LLC at 4705 North Stillwell Parkway by electronic vote.
And a second by?
I'd like to second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10B, new Series 7 liquor license for the Warehouse Event Center. This is also, again, a public hearing, which will open up.
This is another application for a Series 7 beer and wine liquor license for the Warehouse Event Center located at 5880 Prairie Lane. A notice for this hearing was posted at the premises for 20 days, and our office did not receive any comments pro or con recommendation. It is now proposed that the town council recommend approval of this liquor license. And I believe owner Lucy Lave is here if she wants to share anything on her business. No, we're good.
All right. Again, this is a public hearing. Anyone wish to speak about this item? I'll be closing the public hearing. This time, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Schumacher.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to recommend the ADLLNC approval of the application for Series 7 liquor license for the Warehouse Event Center, LLC, located at 5880 Prairie Lane by electronic vote.
We have a second by the Vice Mayor.
Party second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Davis, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. The item you do have before you is a Yavapai County Flood Control Intergovernmental Agreement. What this instrument is, it's the instrument that actually funds the projects that we do flood control projects with. So budget's been done. We anticipate this is what the finance department actually uses when we bid projects that go towards flood control funding. This year's projects includes Starlight Drive and also the PV Master Drainage Plan update, and the amount of this intergovernmental agreement is $750,000. I do like to always recognize Supervisor Mary Mallory, who was here earlier tonight. She advocates hard for this flood control funding. We make recommendations to staff with council support in the budget for flood control projects, so this does go to very worthy projects. Each one of the projects that I've mentioned, Starlight Drive is well on its way. It's going to advertise here in a week, and that particular project has some different funding sources, but a portion of it is flood control. In addition, the PV Master Drainage Plan and the rainwater harvesting a study that we actually had consultant proposals took today, so we're all in line. Upon your approval tonight, we can get started with these particular projects and fund them. So be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Davis? Great project. Looking forward to it.
Well needed.
I'll entertain a motion. Councilwoman Schumacher.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign an intergovernmental agreement pursuant to Town Code 2-02-04E with the Yavapai County Flood Control District for the Stormwater Management and Improvement Project in the amount of $750,000 by electronic vote.
Second.
Second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Thank you, sir.
Much needed.
Item 11. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming out.